Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. First of all, I just want to say a huge thank you to God, first of all, for putting this idea or putting this burden on my sister Jemima. Shout out to you, Jemima. You thought I wasn't going to mention you? Jemima Omari is the person that was pushing me and encouraging me to do that video. Everything that happened in that video was because Jemima was pushing me and encouraging me and just reminding me of how heavy this testimony was. Sometimes we don't realize how heavy our testimonies are until someone else hears them. Anyways, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that's been commenting, everyone that's been encouraging me back, everyone that's been sharing their testimonies or inboxing me privately and just letting me know where they're at in life and sharing things with me. It's just been overwhelming. It's been completely amazing. I'm telling you, this day has been an emotional day for me. I've been on an emotional roller coaster. I was at work and I was just in awe of God's goodness till now. I've been crying literally all afternoon. I came from work and I was just in tears. I'll tell you the truth, man. I did not expect any of this. I did not expect the amount of responses, the amount of posts, sharing, all these things that I'm just seeing on social media. Honestly, it just shows that God is so intentional. He is so intentional. He was intentional with me and my struggles and this story that I had to share. So with this video, I just thought I would go through some of the questions, frequently asked questions that I've been getting throughout the inboxes that I've been receiving. A lot of you have been asking me questions about asking me to go in deeper or explain more about my journey and different things. So I put up a poll on my Instagram and I asked if anyone had any questions to please write it in the comment section, and a lot of you have written some questions, so I'm hoping to get through as many of them as I can. But please, if there's a question that I didn't get through, if there's anything that you're not 100% sure about, please, if it means you have to call me so that we can talk and so that we can just share. I think the main thing for me, I was telling my friend at work today that the main thing for this video is to raise awareness. We raise awareness about so many things: mental health, depression, suicide, and all these things. But I think the main reason for this interview is to obviously, first of all, give glory to God. That's, at the end of the day, that's the main thing for everything that we do. But to also raise awareness about the struggles behind nursing, or the struggles behind anything that you decide to do, the struggles that students face, the struggles that first year nurses or first year engineers, first year psychologists, first year whatever, when you're just starting your career, those struggles that we face. And I think that was the main focus for the video that I did. And a lot of you guys have been asking me a lot of questions. I've realized that I was never alone. I was never alone. I was never, not once was I ever the only person that was facing what I was facing. And I thank God for giving me the strength to push through and to endure the strength. It wasn't the pain and the struggles. It was not easy, but I am grateful for it. After the turnout, after the response I've received, I am grateful for the struggle. So I'm going to go through some of the questions. Like I said, please DM me, comment down below if you have any more further questions. I'd love to answer them. So let's get into the questions. So when I was studying at TAFE, I earned a diploma in nursing and I became an enrolled nurse. When I transferred to uni, I earned a bachelor's degree in nursing and became a registered nurse. For me, I would say personally, the main difference between a registered nurse and an enrolled nurse is the responsibility that we both have. Our responsibilities are quite different. But apart from that, everything else we do is sort of similar, but responsibilities are one of the main differences. Pay rise as well. Obviously, when you work as an enrolled nurse, you get paid less than a registered nurse. Also, there are certain medications that as an enrolled nurse you cannot give, but when you're a registered nurse you are accredited to give. So personally for me, I think the benefits of working as an enrolled nurse, because remember I said I was working as an enrolled nurse for a few years, is you still get that exposure. You know, don't feel discouraged because, oh, I decided not to go and do my RNs for whatever reason. Even though you are not an RN, you're working as an enrolled nurse, you are still in that environment. You still have the opportunity to learn. You still have the opportunity to practice different things. And for those who are older and maybe feel like, you might feel like it's too late for you to go in and study registered nursing at uni, being an enrolled nurse is almost enough for you because you get the full exposure, you get the experiences, the skills, everything's there. You need to remember why. Ask yourself, why are you doing this? It all comes back to the reason why you're doing this. Is this your passion? Is this really something that you feel you're called for? Because if you are not, if you're just doing it for the money, if you're just doing it to kill time, you will be discouraged and you will fall down and you will stay down. But if you know that this is something that's been on your heart for the longest time and you know that this is your true calling, if you fail, you get back up again. The problem with this, the problem with answering these type of questions is your mind, or you've heard these answers so many times and you just brush them off. Forget all those things. I understand that it does sound a little bit cliche, but if you fall, get back up again. Giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option because you are capable. You are capable. The only person that really puts anybody down is you, because you have the power to block out all these discouragements. People can come up to you and they can say you're this, they can point out this, they can point out that, but at the end of the day you have the choice to either listen or to reject those discouragements. 125% yes. So many times I questioned, like I said in my video, I wondered if this was for my type of brain, if that makes sense. Like I just felt like all these things are just too hard for me, and maybe I'm just not cut out for these things. Like it's just not for me. I questioned it so many times, and obviously, like you heard in my testimony, at one point I actually just derailed from nursing, and I thought, let me do something else, because if it's too hard, maybe that's a sign from God that it's not for me. For anyone that has been told that they won't make it, don't believe it. And when I say don't believe it, obviously it's easier said than done. That's the hard part, where you have to tell everything within yourself to not believe that. Sometimes people will come in the form of encouragement or advice, and they'll start telling you, oh, maybe you should try this, maybe you should try that. They start giving you other options that they feel like that suits you. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. If God has put something in your heart, He will get you to where He's taking you, regardless of what you know and you don't know. I'm repeating myself again, but it's the truth. I can't step away from that. That's the only answer I have for you. Keep going. Don't let anyone say anything. Listen to what God is saying. And how are you going to listen to God? How are you going to choose that He's going to be the only person you listen to? Intimate relationship with God. A lot of you has asked me questions about, oh, what's the first step to applying for a nursing course, or what's your advice on what I should do before I apply for a nursing course? Pray about it. Talk to God about it. Talk to God about your doubts. Talk to God about what you're afraid of, what you think might go wrong. Talk about it. Confess it with your mouth. Let it out. Just let it all out, and then leave it in the hands of God. You're kind of cute, and you're going to continue to be cute, so don't worry, it's okay. These pimples are not going to last forever. But I would definitely tell you to, I would tell her to not box God, if that makes sense, you know. Allow God to work in your life, and that might mean that you are going to go through the most difficult time of your life. Allow it. Offer yourself to God. Allow God to use you. Every single time you sing, I give myself away, be careful, because when you give yourself away, you surrender your whole life, and you tell God, when I fall, I trust that you will pick me up. When I fail, I trust that at the end of the road, I'm going to be successful. So trust God and allow him to work through you. Having a support system is so important. And I don't want anyone that doesn't feel like they have a good support system to feel discouraged, because there is always someone out there that's willing to help you. It's so important to have a support system. So many times I wanted to give up. My dad was always just like, no way, you're not going to give up. And he would always encourage me. The important thing about having a support system is they see the greatness in you that you fail to see. My mom used to always tell me that. She would look at me and she'd be like, you're really strong. She reminds me of the day that she gave birth to me. She's like, I think that's why I went through what I went through, and I delivered you because I look at you and you inspire me. When somebody tells you that you inspire them when you are going through hardships, it takes you to another level. It gives you strength. It motivates you to move forward. If you don't have, or if you don't feel like you have a good support system, you need to reach out to someone that you can trust. A support system doesn't necessarily have to come from your family. Whenever you speak to somebody in your family, all they do is put you down, and you honestly feel like that's how it is, reach out. Reach out. There are so many people out there that you can speak to. People in your church, people from your workplaces that are maybe doing things, similar things that you're doing. Someone from your course, your tutor, or anything like that. Reach out. That's where you actually need to step out and say, hey, look, I need help because I'm not getting it from home. I didn't know anything about family time. At one point, it wasn't even a sacrifice. It was just like I was just used to not seeing my family as often. Sometimes my sisters would come home from interstate, and they would be at home for like 2 weeks, and all throughout the 2 weeks I'd be on clinical placement for both 2 weeks and hardly get to see the kids. And for me, that really, obviously, it broke my heart, but I knew I needed to do this. Another thing that I had to sacrifice was working, because when I started working as an EN, I didn't have annual leave, so I didn't get any holidays or anything like that because I had just started. And because uni was coming up, I had to go clinical placements. All the holidays that I could have ever had as an EN were used for clinical placements. So I actually had to sacrifice my holidays and my time off. So I compared myself all the time. I think even till now I still compare myself. I think comparison is an ongoing thing, and it's something that we really need to just hush it out. It's not easy, because obviously you're always looking at somebody else and you want what they have, or you want to be like they have. I obviously compared myself because I was just so used to just being the last of everything. So I had no choice but to compare myself. The worst thing about comparison is it blinds you from who you really are and all the good things about you. You know, you don't focus on yourself, you only focus on other people. Little do you know, that person is comparing themselves to you as well. So what's the point? Why don't you just look at yourself and just be proud and be happy with the way you are, and know that you are in this lane and that person is in that lane. You focus on your lane, you keep your eyes fixed on God and where He's taking you, and whatever is happening in somebody else's life, allow it to be like that. But you keep your eyes focused on Jesus. That's all the questions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video once again, and I thank you so much once again for your responses. I am going to be praying for you guys. I may not know you all personally, I may not be able to pray for you all individually, but as a collective I'm praying. I feel so much more encouraged and pushed to just pray. Just keep praying. The response for that video that I made has just pushed me to just keep praying, because there is power in prayer. There's a lot of people that used to pray for me when I was studying, and for those of you who have been messaging me about where you are right now, I'm telling you right now, I am going to pray for you, because prayer works. God bless you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share our channel, share this video, be encouraged, and remember, if God won't do it, He won't get done. It's gonna take a miracle from God.